Under the bright sunlight of Sun-High City, where the deep blue beach sparkles like jade, the rays of light streaming through the glass window adorn the space with a vibrant tranquility. In the warm, small room, a gentle woman is holding her son, softly breastfeeding the boy. She whispers softly, her voice filled with love. "How can you sleep so soundly after eating so well? It makes me really jealous." The mother has lost sleep from taking care of her child. Her gaze toward her son has become gentler than ever. Even if she has to sacrifice sleep as long as the boy grows up healthy, everything is worth it. Unlike normal children, this boy carries a mysterious energy system within him. In his mind, he quietly marvels, "I've traveled through time and become a newborn baby with an underdeveloped brain." Before his eyes, a system panel appears. Lam Tuthan, 3 days old, first-class ordinary life form, no life attributes. He can't hide his surprise, exclaiming in his heart, "There's even a golden finger." Time quietly passes until Lam Tuthan is 3 months old. The love of his parents warms his heart like a flame. His mother gently smiles and says, "Is the baby lying on your lap again? You don't cry or make a fuss. You are truly a well-behaved baby, which makes Mom worry less." The father, Lam Ngan Sin, also beams. "This boy seems to have a physical gift. He will definitely become a high-level gene fusion person in the future. Just wait and see. In the future, even if he is not exceptional, he will surely become a modified robot." The mother, Trong Uyen Han, has a sparkling gaze filled with hope. At that moment, a notification appeared on the system panel in front of him. Achievement total 10,000 times. First, the reward appears: life attributes only progress, no regression. As long as you continuously train a part of your body, that part will become infinitely strong, but it cannot exceed the limits of carbon-based life forms. Looking at the attractive reward, Lam Tuthan feels a bit confused, not fully understanding. 3 months have passed, and he has completed the first system task. The skill of only progressing without regressing makes him feel the strength in his body gradually improving. Countless future scenarios flash through his mind, and he wonders, but what exactly is this gene fusion and robot modification that Dad is talking about? Could it be like a junkie or Iron Man? 1 month after he turns 4 months old, on a quiet night when the whole family has fallen asleep, Lam Tuthan is still diligently practicing in the living room. The system announces, "You are learning to crawl. Blood key +1 body coordination +1 crawling proficiency +1. He thinks to himself, "At 4 months, I already know how to sit and crawl. To avoid startling my parents, I only dare to practice at night." By 5 months old, he could walk, but only secretly in the dark. The system continues to sound, "You are learning to walk. Blood, key +1 body coordination +1 walking proficiency +1. Thanks to the skill of only progressing without regressing, he was able to walk at just 5 months old, but had to keep this secret until he was 6 months old, when Lam Tuthan finally dared to show his ability to sit and crawl in front of his parents. At 6 months old, he finally crawls and sits freely in front of his parents. On the TV screen, a hot news report plays, "How do you want to live your life?" The mechanical transformers, the gene hybrids here, is a report related to aberrant beasts. Gene hybrids and mechanical transformers unite to fight against aberrant beasts. For the first time, he realizes that this Earth is very different from the place he once knew before time traveling. This is a world where aberrant beasts, terrifying creatures, roam freely. In response, humanity has developed 2 paths: mechanical transformation using technology to enhance physical abilities, or gene hybridization with aberrant beasts using their power to fight against them. Lam Tuthan thought to himself, "Fortunately, I have a system that allows me to grow safely and evolve in this dangerous world." Suddenly, a loud noise startled him, making him turn around. At the door, a girl appears and says, "Hello, my name is Tu Mong. I am the new neighbor living next to you." She smiles and presents a gift. This is a welcome gift. Then she turns to introduce, "These 2 are my husband Tam Kien Ngip and my daughter Tam Than Ham. I hope everyone will take care of us." That was the first day Lam Tuthan met Tam Than Ham, his first friend in this world. He thought to himself whether our fates are closely intertwined in the future. As time passed, by the age of 7 months, he had remarkably mastered controlling his body. The system announced, "You are learning to run. Vitality +1 body coordination +1 running speed +1 running skills +1. You are learning to jump. Vitality plus 1 body coordination plus 1 jump height plus 1 jumping skills plus 1. You are talking to yourself. Spirit plus 1 language ability plus 1 expression ability plus 1. Thanks to a focus on progress without regression, he mastered running, jumping, and speaking in just 7 months. From 4 to 8 months old, Lam Tu Thon began to practice high-intensity sit-ups. The system chimed, "You are doing sit-ups. Vitality plus 1 proficiency progress in sit-ups plus 1 abdominal strength plus 1. He thought to himself, at 8 months old I can do sit-ups and push-ups, but only dared to practice when his parents were not home. However, an unexpected accident occurred while he was doing sit-ups. Trung Nguyen Han walked in stunned by the scene. She rubbed her eyes, panicked, and wondered, what is going on? Why is Than Than doing sit-ups like that? But looking closer, she saw he had fallen asleep. She shook her head, thinking, I must be so engrossed in writing novels that I've lost my mind creating hallucinations. Trung Nguyen Han is a novelist specializing in fiction. To avoid her suspicions, Lam Tu Thon breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, I need to be more careful next time. A few days later, while his mother was bathing him, Trung Nguyen Han suddenly cried out in panic, Husband, something big has happened. Come here quickly. Hearing his wife's frantic call, Lam Nguyen Sin rushed into the house worried and asked, Wife, what happened? Trung Nguyen Han replied in confusion. Why does our Than Than, who is only 8 months old, already have abs? Hearing this, he pondered, his gaze momentarily thoughtful at his son's unusual signs. The appetite of Shen Shun has far exceeded that of children the same age, and now he has a toned abdomen too. After a moment of consideration, Lam Nguyen Sin suddenly realized and joyfully exclaimed, Oh, I understand now, my wife. Could our son be a once-in-a-generation genius? The more he thought it, the more excited he became, secretly telling himself, Then will definitely have a bright future. He could very well become a hybrid of jealousy or at least a mechanical reformer. Lam Nguyen Sin, a novelist from the Southern Communist Party, was secretly pleased with this idea. Thus, the secret about Lam Tu Thon was once again concealed. He thought to himself, I never expected my father to think I am a genius. Having both parents as novelists, I am indeed lucky. As for being a genius, he reminded himself that he wasn't the only one on this strange planet. After a while, watching TV with his mother, a hot news report suddenly appeared. A teenage genius from a 1,000-year martial arts family in the capital, who at just 2 years old can lift 20 kilos with one hand. Trung Nguyen Han gently patted his head, smiling. Our Than Than is also very impressive. I'm sure in the future you won't be any less than that genius boy from a prestigious family. Lam Tu Thon, with big sparkling eyes, thought, Indeed, my mother has a good eye for talent, but can I really lift 20 keys at 2 years old? Just as predicted on his 2nd birthday, he lifted the 20-kilo weight in his storage room. He cheered inside. Finally, I am 2 years old. Thanks to his skill of only advancing forward, he could now easily lift 20 kilos with one hand. Before he could enjoy the joy, his mother's voice rang out from outside the storage room, startling him. Then, where are you? Your little sister Ham Ham is here to play with you. Why aren't you coming out yet? Hearing this, he dusted off his clothes and stepped outside. Lam Tu Thon opened the storage room door and was surprised to see a scene that left him stunned. Tam Tan Ham, also 2 years old, was standing at the door in a cute dress holding a cream puff, chattering, Cream puffs! He smiled and replied, Thank you, you can eat it yourself. Tam Tan Ham, even though the same age, still spoke in a childish voice with slurred pronunciation due to a significant intelligence gap. The two of them were hard to play together. Ham Ham often fell asleep right after eating while he took the opportunity to exercise. He liked playing with Ham Ham because the girl was the ideal weight for his workout. While his mother was lost in thought, Lam Tu Thon suddenly felt something unusual. With wide eyes, what was the small problem with this weight? It turned out that Tam Tan Ham had fallen asleep and wet the floor. He shouted loudly, Mom, it seems like Ham Ham wet herself again. And this was also something that puzzled him, as Ham Ham occasionally had this issue. Not stopping there by the age of 3, Lam Tu Thon could lift 40 kilos. He proudly thought that at 3 years old he could lift 30 kilos with one hand. On TV, there was a new report about a 4.5-year-old prodigy in the capital who could lift 30 kilos with one hand. He secretly told himself that he had surpassed the prodigies of his time. An information panel appeared before him. Name Lam Tuthan, age 3. Biological rank, first level. Common biological attribute only progresses without regressing. He watched intently, wondering how the first-level common was still the lowest. What would the second-level common be like? Would it surpass human limits? Carrying doubts, he stepped out into the outside world for the first time, witnessing a new world. He secretly guessed that those snails and robots must be hybrids and gene-fusion humans. The first place he went was the library, as his parents restricted him from using electronic devices. The library was the ideal place to answer all questions. Teacher Lam Tutan excitedly ran in to find books. Trung Ian Han asked in surprise, Then, the children's reading area is over here. Where do you want to go? Tham Then Ham ran after and called, Then, wait for me. Unlike children of the same age, Lam Tuthan chose to read the Encyclopedia of Strange Beasts. From the dream, he smiled and praised, It seems this is the gene of a scholar. Tham Then Ham innocently asked, Then I still have some cookies. Do you want to eat? He replied, Thank you. I want to read you Eat by Yourself. Through the books, he began to understand more about this mutated world. 6 ancient stone tablets at the mysterious site recorded that the world is divided into 6 levels: common, biological, advanced, rare, manifestation, legend, and mythology. Each level has 9 stages, and common humanity is only at stage 1. Before higher beings, they were no different than ants. He told himself it seems he must accelerate his development to survive in this dangerous world. The system announced, Machinery, you are reading a book. Spirit +1. Reading comprehension ability, +1 knowledge, +1 reading achievement accumulates 100,000 words. The biological attribute reward of celestial being, Hui Wen reading accumulates to 0.86 100,000 words. The system understood he assigned a new task. From now on, he could be proficient in both literature and martial arts at the age of 4. Lam Tutun practiced while reading in the Strange Beast Library. The system continued to announce, Spirit +1, reading comprehension ability, +1 knowledge, +1 reading, accumulates 100,000 words. In the following days, he continued to read books and exercise. At age 4, he entered kindergarten, led by the class teacher of Class C Strawberry into the classroom. Shortly after, he leveled up to second-level common, able to lift 80 kilos with one hand, jump 1.2 meters in place, and run 100 meters under 11 seconds. The information panel appeared. Name Lam Tuthan, age 4. Biological rank. Second-level common attribute only progresses without regressing. This achievement is difficult even for adults to achieve, let alone preschool children. As the saying goes, the greater the strength, the greater the responsibility. In class, Tham Than Ham was being bullied by her classmates. Tham Than Ham, only 4 years old, still often had accidents of wetting herself, and other children often teased her, even giving her the nickname Big Wet King. Therefore, when he saw Ham being bullied in kindergarten, how could he stand by and watch? Witnessing that scene, Lam Tuthan couldn't hold back and immediately rushed to stand in front of the kids with a stern voice that echoed as if to shake the entire classroom. Shut up, all of you! Let me ask you if you dare to call him the Great King Pea Pants. I will turn that person into the Great King Pea Pants. Lam Tuthan asked again, Is that clear? Startled by the loud shout, the children in the class burst into tears. Only Tham Than Ham stood there, her eyes sparkling with admiration. Yes, hoo-hoo, Dad, I'm scared. Hoo-hoo, Mom, I want to go home. Hoo-hoo, I won't dare anymore. I won't go to kindergarten anymore. Half a year later, he successfully completed the reading task and received the biological attribute of heaven human wisdom. From then on, his learning ability reached the pinnacle of humanity. Reading accumulated 100,000 words. The task of achieving the biological attribute was completed. Heaven. Human wisdom root. Heaven. Human wisdom root. Looking through did not forget the learning ability reaching the peak of humanity. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye he was almost 7 years old and had smoothly graduated from kindergarten. Lam Tutan's power broke through astonishingly. He could lift 200 kilos with just one hand. During the break before elementary school, he continued to train and improve himself relentlessly. Not only that, his jumping ability was outstanding, this time reaching a height of 2 meters. His running speed was also extraordinary. Now he completed 100 miles in under 8 seconds. That morning, at Yangguang Elementary School in Shanghai City, he officially stepped into elementary school as he had self-studied the middle school and high school curriculum. Conquering elementary school became easy, but winning awards was just a small matter. The important thing was to quickly win the title of elementary school champion at the National Elementary Math Competition. Lam Tutun won the first prize trophy. The teacher was so happy that she shed tears praising, "Well done, little god. The upcoming literature competition depends on you. Keep it up." Normally at school during free time, he often tutored Tam Than Ham. He pointed at the book, looking at the girl, saying, "Read it back together." Grandmother, she hesitantly read along. "Shut your mouth," he interrupted. No, read it again." Although Tam Than Ham did not have special talent, she was very obedient and hard-working. Just after one semester, her results ranked second in the whole grade, while the first was him. Today our class welcomes a new student. As soon as the words ended, that female classmate began to walk in around her was an aura that felt different from ordinary people. The teacher continued, "Let's welcome our classmate Snow White." It's the reason he said she was special, was that he truly sensed a hint of something non-human from her. At first glance, Tam Ham thought Snow White looked very beautiful, just like her name, with platinum hair and fair skin, her cheeks flushed pink. She stood out even more in the crowd. Just as Tan Ham saw her glide by, she couldn't help but excitedly turn to Tutan and whisper, "Tutan, her hair is so beautiful, like snowflakes in winter." He didn't respond, his gaze somewhat entranced, thinking that he had no intention of answering Tam Than Ham at that moment. When they returned to where Bok Tu Yet was, Tutan quietly pulled out a chair and slowly sat down where she was sitting right behind Tuthan. He was confused, wondering why he was more concerned about the fact that there was an aura around Bok Tu Yet that didn't belong to a human. Could it be that he was a fusion of Gen, or a descendant of someone who fused Gen? Time continued to pass like that. Bok Tuit hadn't communicated with anyone these past few days. After class, she would lie flat on the table without moving. Even going to the bathroom was very rare. At first, everyone was curious about her, but over time, no one paid attention to her anymore. On Monday, the class returned to its usual silence. More than a month later, the silence was finally broken. During this time, a white liquid oozed from Bok Tuyet's body. Specifically, I don't know what that liquid was, but it had a very unpleasant smell. The liquid flowed out so much that it soaked her clothes. However, she seemed indifferent and treated it as something normal. Everyone passing by seemed to avoid her, covering their noses and complaining, "What is that liquid on her? Yeah, really, this liquid seems familiar. It seemed like she wasn't clean." As soon as he finished speaking, a boy in the class grabbed a bottle of water and poured it directly over Bok Tuyet's head, leaving her no time to react. "I'm a good person, so I'll help you. Taking a shower will make you healthier." Hearing those mocking words from him, she was so angry that her hands clenched tightly, her body trembling uncontrollably. Her wet hair fell over her pretty face, her teeth clenched together, biting her lip. It was thought that Bok Tuyet would be so angry that she would make a scene. However, from the corners of her eyes, 2 streams of tears flowed out in frustration. Nevertheless, the group of students still didn't let her off, standing there, laughing gleefully together. Tham Ten Ha walked closer to Tutan, her eyes filled with concern as she softly asked, "Tutan, Bok Tuyet is really pitiful. Can we help her?" In his heart, he hesitated, thinking, what is happening? I always thought Bok Tuyet was very dangerous, but why is she crying like this now? With no other choice, he decided to step forward, determined to rescue her. Although he wasn't clear about Bok Tuyet's true identity, looking at her current appearance, she didn't seem dangerous as he once thought. At least now she is just a weak girl being bullied by others. Thinking this, Zishan tightened the collar of that male student, his voice as stern as a minister. His face darkened, radiating a terrifying aura, commanding, "Wipe the water off Snow White's table." Faced with that imposing presence, Quan Shen's face turned pale, sweat pouring down like rain, hastily stammering, No problem. I will clean it up right away." Bah. After saying that, he hurriedly took a paper towel to wipe the water stains off Snow White's table, silently telling himself, Lam Zishen is originally a person of both literary and martial talent, famous throughout the school. Even 6th grade students wouldn't dare to touch him. It's best to obediently follow along so that no one dares to bully Snow White anymore. Zishen pointed directly at Quan Shen, his voice echoing, "All those who have bullied Snow White during this time, come here and apologize to her now." The group of students didn't dare to argue collectively, grimacing and nodding vigorously, all in unison affirming. The whole group of students lined up, bowed their heads before Snow White, and collectively admitted their faults. "We were wrong, Snow White. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I won't dare to bully you anymore." Receiving the apology, Snow White didn't want to make a big deal out of it, slightly nodding to let it go. She looked at Zishin and Thanha, emotionally saying, "Lam Zishin, Tham Thanha, thank you both." After that, Thanha smiled gently and draped the scarf over Snow White's shoulders, responding, "Don't be so polite. It's normal for classmates to help each other in difficult times." From then on, Thanha began to get closer to that white-haired girl, bringing Zishin along whenever there was delicious food she always shared with Snow White first. While the three were happily chatting, Snow White suddenly hesitated and said, "Oh, right." Her eyes showed a hint of shyness, looking at the two, asking, "Do I smell bad? Don't you hate me?" She recalled her childhood days when she was teased by friends for her body odor. "I'm sorry, it's not that I don't trust you, it's just that I have been avoided and disliked by those around me since I was little. No, that's why the feeling of happiness when someone is by my side for the first time really feels unreal, as if I'm dreaming." Hearing those words, Thanha immediately interrupted. "No, this is not a dream." She smiled warmly, continuing, "I have had the same experience as you, so I will never hate you. Moreover, as long as you agree." While saying this, Thanha extended her hand towards Snow White as if to prove her sincerity. "We will always be good friends." Witnessing that action, Snow White did not hesitate to rush to hug Thanha, tightly moved to the point of choking up. Thank you both." Suddenly she stopped, as if remembering something. "Oh, right." Snow White took off the necklace around her neck and held it out before the two. "Ham tu-tan. You always cook delicious meals for me and be my friends, so I also want to give you something." In her hand was a necklace with a stone shaped like two animal fangs. "These animal fangs are a birthday gift from my mother last year. Now I give it to you. I hope you two won't mind, and I hope we will always be good friends." Thanham did not refuse to accept the necklace as a testament to the friendship of the three, smiling brightly. "We will forever be good friends." But the joy didn't last long. Just when Thanham thought this friendship would last forever, unexpected news struck. "What? You mean Snow White is transferring schools?" The Grim Reaper nodded seriously. "That's right. I saw her completing the transfer procedures with my own eyes." He remembered passing by the principal's office and seeing Snow White with her father finishing up the thank you procedure. Snow White said the principal replied it was nothing, her transfer was completed and the information was kept completely confidential. Thinking of this, the Grim Reaper became even more certain that Snow White's identity was indeed not simple. From then on, they never saw Snow White again. She was like a fleeting shadow in their childhood. Time silently passed until one bright moonlit night. Compared to Snow White's departure, the subsequent events really made the Grim Reaper worry. Father was massaging Mother's shoulders while carefully asking, "Mom, is the pressure okay?" Father smiled and replied, "It's fine. Today, Mom spent the whole day writing a novel. Luckily, my little deity helped her massage her shoulders. Now Mom feels much better." Earlier, thanks to Heavenly Human Wisdom's blessing, he had mastered professional massage techniques and their effectiveness exceeded expectations. The TV was on, suddenly broadcasting breaking news. Next is a major news story. The child prodigy of the capital has set a new record. At the age of 10, he successfully fused Beast Gene, lifting a 1,000-pound stone with just one hand. Hearing this, the Grim Reaper's eyes widened in astonishment, mouth agape. "Is that him? Has he already started gene fusion?" From the bathroom, Lam Nguyen Sin stepped out drying his hair and asking, "Is it the child prodigy of the capital? He looks really eye-catching on screen. Could it be a gimmick to become famous and make money from selling products?" He pondered, after all, they are a 1,000-year-old martial arts family. Maybe they possess advanced gene fusion technology. Trong Yen Han frowned and replied, "But you can't use your own child as a test subject, right, Dad?" Lam Nguyen Sin calmly countered. "For a martial arts family, sacrificing personal interests for the clan is the rightful path. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to maintain their reputation." She irritably interrupted, all right, you understand best." While his parents were arguing, the Grim Reaper stood silently lost in thought. The child prodigy of the capital could only lift a 100-pound weight with one hand before, but after gene fusion, he lifted up to 500 pounds 5 times more. The Grim Reaper silently compared. At just 8 years old, he had lifted 300 pounds without needing fusion. Thinking of this, he clenched his fists filled with confidence. It seems that my potential is still outstanding. He was originally filled with hope for the future, but the next news made his heart turn cold. On the TV, scenes of smoke and fire appeared along with the urgent voice of the announcer. Breaking news. A serious attack by a strange beast occurred in the neighboring country. The screen shows grotesque monsters capturing innocent people. According to footage from witnesses, the attack involved giant rats. An unfortunate girl was grabbed by a giant rat pulled toward its sharp teeth and cried out, "Help me, help me!" Before she could finish her sentence, the beast swallowed her whole, blood splattering everywhere, her scream fading away. After the riot, a quick investigation revealed the forces behind the cult elements. I hope every nation will support the Hua Kingdom in eliminating the cult, an inhumane organization established by traitors ready to act as pawns for the strange beasts to attack humanity. Death's Shadow thought to himself, thankfully, he was born in a stable superpower enough to develop and grow. But before he could collect his thoughts, a loud explosion outside made him pale, his eyes wide with panic. There was an explosion outside the window, and he hurriedly ran out, his heart pounding. Death's Shadow quickly pulled back the curtain, and the scene before him left him stunned. A multitude of people with mechanized bodies soaring across the sky, heading in one direction. Why are so many government mechanized people flying by like this? I hope it's not a bad sign, he thought anxiously. The next morning, bright sunlight spread across the neighborhood. Death's Shadow and Than Ham were on their way to school. He urged her to hurry. "We will be late." She smiled and replied, "I made you wait long enough." Suddenly, Death's Shadow was startled, his eyes wide, and he rushed to grab the glowing beast tooth around Than Ham's neck. Ham, your beast tooth is glowing." She was surprised. "Oh, really?" This was the first time Death's Shadow witnessed this scene. He was confused. Could this be the tooth of a strange beast? No wonder Snow White had an unusual aura. That aura surely came from this tooth. The light only flashed for a moment, so they didn't have time to investigate further. But the gathering of mechanized people last night and the anomaly from the fang made Death's Shadow feel uneasy, as if a bad omen was approaching. On the street, they accidentally brushed past a scantily dressed woman who was standing smoking. As they walked by, she said, "Oh, this child is cute, isn't he?" She stared and asked, "Are you siblings or what?" Than Ham innocently smiled and replied, "We are not blood siblings. We are childhood friends and also each other's best friends." The woman smirked. "Childhood friends, huh? That makes people jealous." Yes, she continued to ask, "Hey, you are so young and you go to school by yourselves? Where are your parents?" Than Ham was about to answer, but Death's Shadow quickly pulled her hand, interrupting, "Don't talk anymore, we are going to be late, hurry up." He pulled her along without looking back. Finally, they arrived at school on time. Death's Shadow turned to remind her, "Don't talk to strangers in the future, okay?" She nodded, I know." A class passed quickly. As school ended, the red sunset painted the sky. On the way home, Death and Than Ham had to cross a deserted alley, looking at the quiet scenery. Than Ham shivered slightly, her voice filled with worry. "Little God, this alley is too quiet, it feels ominous somehow." Death reassured her, "This place will be destroyed next week, the residents have all moved away. That's why it's so quiet." Before he could say more, a familiar figure suddenly appeared. "Hey, you two finally got out of class." That was the woman they met this morning. She continued, "Brother, no need to search anymore. The 2 kids are with me." Death immediately sensed danger, quickly stepped in front of Than Ham, thinking to himself, "Is it her?" After class, I deliberately took Ham through a different route to avoid the path this morning, but I didn't expect her to still follow. The woman's eyes flashed with malice. She smiled, "Your little friend has a lot of delicious food. Do you want to come play with me?" Suddenly, a rough-looking man behind interrupted, talking nonsense. Not wanting to waste any more time, he pulled out a drug-soaked cloth, charging straight at Death and Than Ham, intending to knock them out and take them away. The man smiled wickedly, muttering, "I'm in a hurry, need to sell them for money." But Death wasn't going to let that happen easily. He clenched his fist, turned around, and threw a powerful punch aimed directly at the man. The quick reaction left the man unable to defend himself, taking a direct hit to the chest. Fresh blood spurted from his mouth. The blow sent his massive body flying back, crashing hard against the wall. The woman stared in shock, thinking, "This is unreasonable. How can an elementary school student knock away an adult?" Before she could understand what was happening, Death rushed in front of her. His fist raised, striking directly in her face, causing her to grimace and fly backward. But he didn't stop there. Death bent down to pick up a brick from the ground, his gaze cold, killing intent evident. There are no cameras around to avoid future trouble. It seems the only option is to deal with them. Although he didn't want to, he knew if they reported this, his abilities would be exposed, ruining his survival plan and making him stronger. But before he could act, the ground shook violently, accompanied by a loud explosion. What is happening? Why is there suddenly an earthquake? Death was confused. Not far away, a gigantic hand with sharp claws gripped tightly onto the wall. In front of him was a gigantic mutated rat. "A gigantic mutated rat," he exclaimed. The beast opened its mouth, aiming for the woman who was unconscious on the ground. In just a second, it bit off half of her body before she could feel any pain. The rat continued to lift the man beside her. Seizing the opportunity, Death rushed to Than Ham, who was standing frozen in terror. She stammered, "Little God, what is that?" He hugged her tightly, quickly replying, "It's a gigantic mutated rat." After saying that, he dashed out of the alley. "We need to hide somewhere safe." While fleeing, a girl in strange clothing appeared in the sky, flying straight towards the rat. Seeing this, Death breathed a sigh of relief. "Is that a mechanized reformer?" The mouse just appeared, and they quickly came to support, not letting the beast rampage. The blonde girl raised her hand, unleashed a powerful energy wave, and shouted loudly. Energy guns from her hand had a series of small tubes pop up. She continued to use the anesthetic smoke. As her words ended, small rockets carrying the anesthetic smoke rushed straight at the mouse, causing it to panic and unable to escape. The explosions rang out continuously. Rocks, shattered dust filled the air, and the firepower relentlessly attacked the clearly exhausted mouse. The mechanized girl delivered a fatal blow, striking straight into its belly. The Grim Reaper silently assessed this girl. Her level was not high. First, use anesthetic bullets to weaken it. Then it took 7 minutes of close combat to take down the giant mutated mouse. Indeed, it's hard to deal with when it's fully grown. It's over 3 meters long, with a biological level equivalent to a common high school student. Luckily, I escaped. I need to enhance my training today. Do you think the system suddenly announced a squad with blood and strength points +2 and a proficient squad +1? Even though the threat from mutated mice still exists, life continues. Soon, the Grim Reaper and Than Ham will celebrate their 9th birthday. After making their wishes, they exchanged gifts. Thanks to Tien Nan Hue, the Grim Reaper had self-taught overnight to carve a wooden hairpin as a gift for Than Ham. Than Ham beamed as she received the special gift, exclaiming thanks to Little God. "This hairpin is so beautiful, I really love it." In no time, both of them graduated from elementary school and stepped into middle school. The system announced the achievement of dominating the 9-year compulsory education program. The reward for biological attribute, strong over weak. The title of Kindergarten King achieved. Elementary Big Brother achieved, middle school Little Overlord not achieved yet. Looking back, the Grim Reaper couldn't help but feel excited. "I'm about to achieve it. I'm about to win the title of middle school Little Overlord and receive the strong over weak biological attribute during the break. To quickly prepare to achieve the title and enhance strength, you persistently train at high intensity every day. The system regularly updates progress. You have done 1,000 weighted push-ups, blood and strength points in arms and chest, plus 2,000 push-up proficiency, plus 1,000 right before the new school year. The biological level of the Grim Reaper broke through to common 3rd grade. The system continues. You have run a variable speed of 10 kilometers with blood points, plus 4 396 speed and endurance, plus 1,000 body coordination, plus 1,000 running speed, plus 1,000 running technique, plus 1,000. You can now lift 700 ki with one hand, jump straight up 4 meters, and sprint 100 meters in 6 seconds. The Grim Reaper was unsure of the level of the child prodigy in the capital, but at that moment, the night before the new school year, the TV reported on him. The 14-year-old prodigy from the capital merged with Genkian Gigantic, easily lifting 2,000 keys with one hand. The Grim Reaper miscalculated. Genkien increases strength by 4 to 8 times, so his true strength is only about 400 kilos. Thus, I still consider myself stronger, eagerly awaiting the day of merging with Gen. The middle school journey begins being the best student in the city. In elementary school, Death God was courted by top schools, and he finally chose Trongson High on the condition that Then Ham would be in the same class. On the first day of school, the principal and homeroom teacher warmly welcomed him and advised, "Teuton, do your best. You are the best." The principal had high hopes for him. They placed great trust in him, and from now on, all school competitions would rely on him. After a few polite exchanges, Teuton made an excuse to leave. He and Thanham planned to play badminton, taking advantage of the school's modern sports facilities. Thanham held the shuttlecock and called, "Teuton, let's get started." But her arching shot was intercepted by a senior. He spoke up, "You newcomers, right? There's a special event here for our graduating class." Two others surrounded Thanham, teasing her, but this little girl could stay. "You guys can take turns practicing skills with her. Right? If she doesn't know how to play, we'll guide her step by step." One guy laughed mockingly. Thanham was indignant. "Even if you are older, you still have to follow the rules." "We got here first." Teuton coldly ordered, "You guys stay away from her." The rule first come, first served doesn't need further explanation, does it? His senior Diepten defiantly replied, "Who said there was such a rule? Even if today Lao Tu arrived first, I will occupy this spot." He held the shuttlecock and declared, "Listen closely from now on. My rule, Teuton, is to jump and smash the shuttlecock. That's the rule." The shuttlecock flew at a terrifying speed, damaging Dieptan's racket. He and his two lackeys were horrified. "It's too fast. Is this even human? Could it be a fusion person? He couldn't be that young, could he?" They panicked, fearing that if they missed, their boss would blow all three of their heads off. Bowing their heads, they apologized. "Sorry, we understand the rules now. We'll take our leave. You two take your time playing." The news spread quickly, and from then on, no one dared to bully them at school. High school is similar to elementary school, just bigger with a better environment. Teuton completed his daytime studies, read extracurricular books, practiced in the evenings, and learned new skills from the internet. Thanks to Thin Hui, he became proficient in cooking, photography, driving, swimming, wilderness survival, and many sports to earn the title of Little Overlord of High School. Teuton not only excelled in all subjects, but also helped the school win many national competitions, earning gold, silver, and bronze medals in math, physics, chemistry, and programming, but intentionally avoided taking first place to remain humble. A semester passed, the title still hadn't shown, but he attracted many fans. Afterwards, Teuton didn't care about them, focusing only on tutoring Thanham and preparing for the upcoming sports competition, Dominate the Sports Competition. "I will take the title of Little Overlord of High School." He thought he would choose to compete in weightlifting, high jump, and sprinting, 3 events representing strength, jumping, and speed. 3 cautious jumps to avoid showing off winning first place was still too easy. An explosive power emanates from your body. The system announces, "Junior Tyrant academic and sports achievements have shocked the entire school, overshadowing every student. Successfully obtaining the title of Junior Tyrant, you have completed Kindergarten, King Elementary, Big Brother, Junior Tyrant, dominating 9 years of compulsory schooling, gaining strong biological traits, preying on the weak. The strong prey on the weak. The essence of life surpasses all things. Only by devouring the essence of life of other beings can one promote evolution." The Grim Reaper curiously asks, "What is the essence of life?" Suddenly, Thanham runs after, calling out to Little God, "Wait for me, startling you." That's right. Miss Grim Reaper turns and asks with sparkling eyes, Ham, can I borrow your tooth for a bit?" She immediately takes it off, smiling brightly. "Here you go." When you touch the tooth, your whole body trembles. The system announces, "You have devoured a bit of the essence of life of the abyssal giant butterfly." The abyssal giant butterfly diagram reaches 1%. Once the progress bar reaches 100%, you can evolve some attributes or skills of the corresponding exotic beast. You are stunned, exclaiming, "Is this a tooth of a butterfly?" Your dad mutters, "Now I know the name of this exotic beast, maybe I can find information online." But after searching, the Grim Reaper is disappointed. There is no information about the abyssal giant butterfly. So it doesn't exist. It seems I can only explore it myself. You rummage through your backpack, pulling out the other tooth. Found it, luckily. Snow White gave me 2. You grip it tightly, feeling the flow of energy. The system announces, You have devoured a trace of the essence of life of the abyssal giant butterfly. The abyssal giant butterfly diagram reaches 2%. The Grim Reaper sighs, only 2%. It seems there isn't much essence of life left in the beast's bones. I want to fully unlock it. I need to find another way. You think about enhancing your physical strength tomorrow. The Grim Reaper starts cycling Than Ham to school. If I encounter a giant mutant mouse again, I can quickly get Ham to safety. You calculate. Suddenly, a voice calls out, "Student Grim Reaper, I am Teacher Quatch, the martial arts team coach." Your performance at the sports meet is the best in the school's history. I would like to invite you to join the martial arts team. Your athletic talent surpasses even your studies, he continues. Of course, you can learn more before making a decision. The Grim Reaper doesn't have time to interject. The teacher speaks too quickly. I'll book room C. The gym is the martial arts headquarters. Stop by if you're free tomorrow. I'll wait for you. As dusk falls, the Grim Reaper slaps his hand hard, killing a mosquito. You mutter, mosquitoes and cockroaches can't activate either. The strong prey on the weak. Only strong exotic beasts have significant essence of life. You take out your phone, cycling outside, deciding to test your hypothesis. I will go to the animal meat supermarket in the shopping center. Before long, they arrive. The Grim Reaper holds a meat tray, observing various types of meat, but they are all packaged, making it difficult to verify directly. Just as the supermarket announced that they were cutting meat and invited everyone to choose their items, an advertisement caught my eye. Fresh game meat not pre-processed, safe to use. He felt delighted he found it. Seeing the owner slicing meat, he said, Ham, wait for me here. I'll go check that piece of meat. Toothan approached the meat counter. Although he knew Than Ham might find it disgusting, he didn't explain, just wanted to verify quickly. When he touched the piece of meat, a surge of power erupted. As expected, the game meat contained abundant primal life essence. He secretly cheered. Than Ham saw him excited and asked in surprise, Toothan, are you okay? It's just touching game meat. Why are you so excited? She hesitantly asked, Does animal meat feel different from regular meat? Toothan forced a smile. No difference, just feels fresher. He asked, Do you want to try touching it? Than Ham waved her hand. No need, you touching it is enough. Toothan, tempted. Since we're here, let's buy some meat to taste. He understood her surprise. Game meat is expensive. Even the cheapest ghost squid costs nearly 1,000 yuan per kilogram. Toothan lifted the squid tray, determined, This time let's buy it. Than Ham worriedly frowned. Toothan, this is too expensive. Why didn't you ask Uyen Han before deciding? He patted her head, smiling to reassure her. Don't worry. My mom said if we buy game meat, we should buy a few kilograms more and invite Ham over to eat with us. Uyen Han had once said, if you buy game meat, buy a few more kilograms and invite Ham over to try it. Mom will transfer this money. Toothan added, Mom will prepare a game meat feast for both families. Besides sharing, he was also concerned about absorbing the primal life essence as it might cause the meat to spoil, so he wanted to experiment. That was just a guess, so he decided to test it with the purchased meat. The staff scanned the code, 3 kilograms of ghost squid totaling $2,995. Thank you, and see you again. Toothan silently lamented, so expensive. He didn't know when the next time would be. It was already past 9 p.m. after making the purchase. The situation has been unstable lately, so returning early would be safer. He thought of riding his bike to take Than Ham home. Even while pedaling, his hand was still reaching into the squid tray in the basket. Even on the road, he still wanted to check right away. As soon as he touched the surge of ethereal power, the system notified, You have absorbed a bit of primal life essence from the ghost squid. The ghost squid's essence reached 0.1%. On the empty street, Toothan calculated that to absorb 1 hg of primal life essence, he only got 0.1%. To reach 100%, he would need 100 kilos, which amounts to 100,000 yuan. The ability of a ghost squid is to dissolve in water and disappear. If he could reach 100,000, it would be worth it. He thought this was still the cheapest meat. That's the secret time to make money. That's a large sum that he couldn't ask his family for. The purpose of buying meat was to check if the meat spoiled after absorption. He recalled inspecting the piece of meat. He realized that absorbing the essence did not spoil the meat, which was great. The system notified that the ghost squid's progress reached 3%. Than Ham quickly reminded, Teuton, be careful, there are people ahead. You hit the brakes hard, almost crashing into a couple. I'm sorry, really sorry, he thought to himself, too absorbed in the essence of life to pay attention to the road. But why are there so many cyclists? She pointed. Little God, look, a Western bride is being threatened by that guy with a knife to her neck. The kidnapper shouted, Don't come over here. Get closer and I'll kill her. The police aimed their guns. He was surrounded. Calm down, lower your weapons. The captain signaled to his subordinate. Abin, don't shoot recklessly. He is using the hostage as a shield. Move constantly, shoot at the roots of the hostage. Abin was worried, but if it drags on, the hostage will be in danger. How about using tranquilizer gas? The captain shook his head. No, the tranquilizer gas is too obvious. It could make him go crazy. Before it could take effect, Death crouched down, picked up a stone, and threw it accurately at the kidnapper's hand, causing the knife to fly out. Thanham, the captain, shouted, Charge in, catch him! The police subdued the kidnapper. Thanham was bewildered. The stone was thrown by Little God. He signaled, Hurry, let's go home and talk. The captain called to his classmate. Was it you who threw the stone? Death pretended not to know. It wasn't me. Thanham, both of them, hurried away, but heard the captain muttering. Strange, why not receive a reward for doing a good deed? Death paused, turned the bike around. He remembered it was him who threw the stone. In his heart, he thought he didn't want to show off, but money was too important. Thanham chased after Little God. Why did he turn back? Wait for me. The captain said to the colleague about recording the report and receiving the reward after notifying the family. Death and Thanham locked their bikes in the park, preparing to get on the bike. The police arrived at the station unexpectedly. The kidnapper roared his body, transforming into a giant rat. The police were panicking. This was bad. He was a cultist carrying the Rat King toxin. The rat lunged at a female police officer. The captain ordered everyone to shoot at the rat, but instructed the public to call headquarters. A mutated rat appeared in West River Park carrying the Rat King toxin reinforcements needed. Death quickly pulled Thanham and the female police officer to run away. We're done for, we've offended someone, but we need to hide first. Luckily, the rat couldn't catch up. Just then, a mechanized reformer glided by, delivering a powerful kick that pushed the rat back. The mechanized reformer shouted, Laser cannon is charging! A fierce barrage of fire erupted, incinerating the mutated rat to ashes. Death was stunned, thinking, so strong. Luckily, my bike didn't explode, otherwise it would be a huge loss. The Western bride sighed in relief. Great, we are saved. Suddenly he was startled. Wait, has the meat of mutated animals gone bad? He realized that after absorbing the essence of life, the meat still spoiled, but at a slower rate. He had to have a reason for this. He could only blame that cultist. He was annoyed, throwing the piece of meat to the ground. It's all his fault, and the laser cannon strike from the mechanized reformer was too strong, causing the meat to burn. Thanham comforts. It's okay. Teuton being safe is already lucky. Even though they planned to go home, all three got in the security vehicle to the station to make a report at the request of the captain. On Monday, the body of the heretic was left charred by the laser cannon with dark residues emitting a strong odor. The Reaper had a thought. The fangs of beasts used to contain the essence of life, so this body probably does too. I can absorb the rage of the giant rat from him. Without hesitation, he secretly touched the corpse. His whole body froze. The system announced that you have devoured a bit of the essence of life from the mutated giant rat. The data on the mutated giant rat reached 5%. The Reaper was quite surprised. It seems that the freshness is directly proportional to the essence of life. Abin reminded the classmates to sit still and not move around. The Reaper pretended to stretch. Don't misunderstand, I'm just stretching after sitting for a long time. He was careful, knowing Abin was easy to deceive, but the captain was sharper. At the station, the captain spoke sternly. I have applied for a bravery award for you, but honestly, tell me, from that distance with such dim light, how could a high school student hit the heretic holding a knife with a stone? So how the Reaper forced a smile. Maybe it's because I practice with my right hand often. The captain stared skeptical. Thanha pushed the door and called Teuton. Mom is here to take us home. He was surprised. Mom? Why is Mom here? We could go back by ourselves. Uyen Han hugged him tightly, worried. Teuton, are you okay? You scared your mom to death. His mom reassured him. Don't be agitated, you're still fine. You even got a reward for bravery. Uyen-han said sternly, Teuton promised me that next time you encounter danger, you must hide safely, first understood. Mom just wants you to grow up safe. He nodded. Don't worry, Mom, I promise to take care of myself. On the way home, he overheard two female police officers. The Godrat gang is getting more and more brazen, invading even colleges, tricking students who aren't qualified for fusion. One person angrily said, the one who died tonight was a student from Kwangnam who was enchanted by the Godrat. We have to catch them all, but that's just temporary. To resolve this completely, we must eliminate the Rat King who claims to be a god. The Reaper took note Rat King. He searched online and discovered important news. The Rat King wants to evolve to a higher level, sending followers to collect evolution resources. Could it be that it has sentient life? Is the mutated giant rat related to the Rat King? He mumbled, well, this is the South. It's normal for rats to be as big as cats. Gui looked at him startled. Why is Ham so quiet? He was suspicious every time she was worried or in danger. She acted just like when she was little, unable to control her emotions. Perhaps her condition is related to her potential. The meat is gone. The Reaper felt embarrassed. The situation was urgent at that time. I didn't pay attention. It must be lost. She sighed. As long as you're safe, that's all that matters. The Reaper breathed a sigh of relief, thankfully managed to cover it up. He turned to his dad. It's very dangerous over there, not peaceful at all. Gonsin laughed. It's okay. Dad is a network worker. He's very strong. The Reaper advised even if we find the meat, it would be spoiled anyway. He was surprised. How do you know? The Reaper replied. I just guessed at the station. The captain pondered how could a high school student throw a stone with such force. Suddenly, he was startled, pointing to the file cabinet. Where did that big mouse come from? A mutated mouse jumped down. The captain immediately opened fire in the classroom. Death sighed in comparison. Compared to the god mouse and the female robot from last night, I am still too weak. I need to make money quickly. To unlock a ghost image, scholarships from competitions are too slow. Becoming a famous scholar selling educational materials without being too ostentatious. You realize the world is full of hybrids, jealous and mechanized transformations. Learning martial arts is better than learning literature. The martial arts prize money is much higher. In room C of the gym, Mr. Quash was sipping tea. Death walked in and greeted Mr. Quash. He was pleased. Death, do you want to join or just inquire about the martial arts team? You asked directly. If I join the martial arts team, can I compete in the city martial arts tournament, teacher? Is the prize money high? The teacher smiled and said, Of course the prize money is at least several thousand. Hearing this, Death decisively nodded. Teacher, I have thought it over. From today I officially join the martial arts team. Mr. Quach shook your hand, beaming, Welcome. He turned to call everyone to gather. Today our team has a new member. I'm sure everyone knows our classmate Death, the champion of the school sports meeting, has joined the martial arts team. You all introduce yourselves. The members took turns speaking. My name is Chuang Kai, remember that. I am Thien Han, grade 3 of Block 9. You can call me Ah Han. I am Thu Dong, grade 6 of Block 9. Everyone calls me Little Lee. I like that name. I am Nutsak, just to call me Sachka. Death replied, I am Lam Tuthan. I hope everyone will guide me. Having never learned martial arts, Death was shown boxing and kicking techniques by Mr. Quach. He reminded, don't underestimate simple movements. Even Little Lee, the fastest learner, took a week to try. Death immediately mimicked the movements smoothly. Mr. Quach upgraded the level to teach more complex techniques. A boy activated the celestial ability Hugh Khan. The system notified you that you practiced the Blood Chi martial arts, gaining 1 strength, 1 endurance, and 1 proficiency in martial arts. Every movement was precise, and the attributes continuously increased. Mr. Quach was stunned. Could it really be learned after just 1 look? He thought to himself, unless he is a rare martial arts genius. As night fell, Uyen Han called Little Than from the kitchen. Get 8 chopsticks, dinner is ready. He hurried out. I'm coming. What are we having for dinner tonight, Mom? She placed a plate of food down, smiling. Of course, it's ghost squid. You like that? Slowly, Than inhaled deeply. It smells so good. Uyen Han urged, Don't just smell it, taste it while it's hot. He scooped a spoonful and Uyen Han asked, How does it taste? He praised, Mom's cooking is the best in the world. She rubbed his head. Then eat a lot. I bought 3 kilos. The system notified you have devoured a bit of the original life essence of the ghost squid. The ghost squid diagram reached 3.01%. Death was startled. It turns out eating directly can also devour. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have touched it. After eating, you go to the living room to watch the news. News Introduction. The genius girl shocks the entire nation, 14 years old, merging the heart of energy, becoming the youngest mechanized person in history. When activated, she can lift a 2,000 kg off-road vehicle, run 100 millers in 3 seconds, and jump vertically 8 miller. The Grim Reaper pondered, who is stronger, the genius of the capital, or this girl, the one who merges, or the one who is mechanized? The next news shocked you. Sad news. Captain Ha Xuan-sun died in the office at 11 p.m. last night, killed by a giant rat sneaking into the department. You shivered. Is it the rat from last night? Must train urgently. After training, you ran 100 millers in 4.6 seconds, jumped vertically 5.1 mil, and lifted 1,000 kilos with one hand. You continuously learned martial arts, hoping to improve your strength soon to compete. The next morning, you went to the martial arts training room. Thanha curiously followed a senior sister and struck up a conversation. Junior Grim Reaper hasn't had breakfast yet, right? Sister brought fresh milk for you. You declined, thanking her for the kind offer, but you didn't need it. Another guy watched this scene furious. Damn, this guy stole my championship at the sports meet, and now he even refuses a gift from the goddess. He rushed out to block the way. Don't you know what manners are? If you don't drink, then accept it and give it to someone else like me, for example. The Grim Reaper retorted, Isn't that even more impolite? He was left speechless. You drink it all. Not drinking is disrespectful, meaning it's impolite. You calmly said, But I'm allergic to milk. He stammered, I don't believe the Grim Reaper dares to fight me. No, I lost. I won't talk to you anymore. I win, you drink all the milk. The system announced the achievement eliminated 1,000 opponents using primitive biological methods. Reward natural selection attribute. The eliminated opponents are not over 1,000. The Grim Reaper was secretly delighted finally having the 4th achievement mission. You nodded. Okay, let's have a match. The news spread quickly. Students flocked to the gym to watch. A senior shouted, Grim Reaper, I will cheer for you. Teach him a lesson. Another girl raised her camera. Come on, Junior, let me take a nice picture. For me, Tronkai thought bitterly. Does everyone think I'll lose? I will take advantage of this kid's inexperience. The Grim Reaper made remarkable progress in a month. You urged, I have to go home for dinner. Can we finish quickly? And Tronkai immediately replied, If you like, then in the afternoon. The teacher waved. Friendship is above all, competition is secondary. Begin. Tronkai demanded. Wait. Grim Reaper just enrolled a month ago, and I've been here for nearly 2 years, to be fair. I'll let you go 3 moves first. You nodded. All right. Then you charged in, throwing a powerful punch. Tronkai got hit in the face, fell down, and was motionless. The teacher was stunned. What, just 1 punch? The members of the Martial Dao team gaped. What the hell is this? Finish that quickly. Thanha cheered. Grim Reaper won! The senior cheered enthusiastically. Hawk Day the handsome Grim Reaper. The system announced, You have defeated your opponent, captured the heart of the opposite sex, and been favored to choose a partner. The kill rate of the opponent is 1 in 1,000. The Grim Reaper understood he needed to defeat 999 more opponents to unlock the strongest skill. He took the opportunity. Why don't you all continue discussing? The crowd turned pale, hurried to find an excuse to back out. I have to go to extra classes today. My mom said to come home for dinner. I'll go with you. So dizzy. Zhang Kai clutched his chest, sat up, and shouted, I'm not convinced! You ambushed me. Next time I will smash you to pieces. Teacher Ket said sternly, Trung Kai, just give up. Do you suspect that the punch from Tuthan was due to luck or real strength? We need further verification. The group of students dispersed, but another senior stepped out. Sorry, Junior, but don't hit my face. 10 minutes later, to avoid showing off, Tuthan only sparred lightly, but all the seniors were defeated. Checking the achievement board, he realized only Trunkai's progress was counted while the sparring matches did not increase. Only defeating directly counts. He thought, Teacher Ket is excited genius Tu Than. You've only joined for over a month and you're already the trump card this year. Trungson High will defeat other schools ranking first in the area. Tu Tun suddenly realized, that's right. By participating in the martial arts competition, I can take down many opponents, increasing my mission progress later. Trung Kai shouted, I accept defeat. From now on, even if you sit on my head and pee, I won't complain. Everyone was shocked, running away in a panic, leaving Trung Kai calling out, wait, I haven't finished speaking. In this world, when entering high school, students choose to study martial arts or academics, and martial arts classes are always a priority for admission to Than Ham. Training with Tu Than, running 3,000 meters, practicing martial arts for an hour, plus sit-ups and push-ups to build strength. After each session, Tu Than would massage Than Ham to relax her muscles. He became more diligent, focusing on preparing for the martial arts competition. A month later, on the day of the exam in the restroom at the city stadium, Teacher Quach received bad news. Trung Son Hai withdrew. We are from Trung Huk Son Hai, the strongest opponent. Teacher to a desperate student. The #1 school has Lang Yun running 100 meters in under 9 seconds. We're doomed. Tu Than confidently suggested, Teacher, let me go first. Teacher Quach was worried. Is that okay? But finally agreed. Then let Tu Than go first. He stepped onto the mat. Teacher Quach and Than Ham cheered. Tu Than, I believe in you, go for it. The opponent was a tall guy with his hands on his hips. The boy from the mountain. I've seen the list. Just entered junior high and already on the stage of the League of 8 schools, not bad. But this is not a place for you, a first-year student barely 1.7 m tall. Later I'll show you the difference in size and strength. The referee declared the match. Starting from Vin, he charged in to throw a death punch, dodged neatly, and countered with a strong palm strike to Tu Vin's chest, sending him flying back. The referee was stunned. Lum Tu Tun 110 Ham cheered, Tu Tun, you're amazing! The teammates cheered. Tu Than was on top. The muscles were completely stiff and inflexible. Today, the coach from Vin shouted, the techniques I taught countless times in the ring, why aren't you using them? The system announced, you defeated an opponent, ranking increased, total opponents eliminated 2 out of 1,000. Tu Than was secretly happy indeed, defeating in an official match, increasing mission progress. Teacher Sun ordered, Tranfong, go up, take down that disrespectful kid as quickly as possible. Tranfong replied, I understand, teacher. He took a defensive stance in the ring, ready. The referee called for the match to begin. At the start, Tranfong swept a kick toward Tu Than. Tu Than skillfully leaned away from Tranfong's kick and delivered a powerful strike. The outcome was as expected. Tranfong was knocked away and slammed hard onto the floor. The referee quickly shouted, quick, take him to the hospital for a checkup. He seems to have hit his head. The audience was stunned. What happened? Why is that student from Trung Son Hai so lucky? The opponent rushed out of the ring. What luck is this? It must be rigged. Did you pay? Teacher So realized. No, it's not luck. This junior has real strength. He ordered, Cao Fi, in the next match you go up, focus on defense, absolutely do not lose. Cao Fi put his hands in his pockets and calmly stepped forward. Don't worry, coach, I will win. He thought to himself, Tu Than isn't that strong, just agile and knows how to take advantage of the situation. I can run 100 meters in 9 seconds, I have more experience. As long as I take it seriously, I cannot lose. Cao Fi's appearance caused a stir in the stands. The first-year student from Sun Hai has lost all hope. He is just a freshman, but the future of Trung Son Hai will be at the top. The referee called for the match to start. At the beginning, Cao Fi attacked confidently, unleashing a flurry of punches, but Tu Than dodged every move as fluid as water flowing. Teacher Son shouted, Cao Fi, what are you doing? I told you to defend. Why are you attacking? Cao Fi confidently replied, a genius like me doesn't need to defend against Tu Than. While dodging, he observed Tu Than's techniques, finding it interesting, trying to learn from it. Cao Fi was puzzled. Why can't I hit him? This is unscientific. He asked directly, how did you dodge my blow? Tu Than replied, do you have any more moves? Use them all. Cao Fi launched a high kick, roaring, you dare mock me! But Tu Than only needed one kick to the stomach to end the match. The audience gasped. The home team cheered, little then is too strong. Taking down 3 opponents in a moment, winning was as easy as eating candy. The next opponent was even weaker. and soon Tuthan took down all 5 students from Trongson High. Number 1. 2 days later, he continued to defeat 2 more schools, bringing Trongson High to the championship of the 8-school league. The system announced the total number of eliminated opponents 16 out of 1,000. Tuthan quietly calculated that there were 984 opponents left. It might take many years to complete natural selection. The teacher unexpectedly awarded a large portion of the tournament prize 20,000 yuan plus bonuses from academic competitions, giving him about 30,000 yuan. But the money quickly ran out when Uyen Han cooked a table of squid meat. Little Than ate slowly. There was still plenty, but his mother reminded him. The system updated the image of Shadow Squid to 33% after eating 30 kilos of meat. In his second year of high school, Tuthan broke through to the 4th level of high school lifting. 1 time 90 kilograms with one hand jumping 565 vertically and running 100 meters in 4.9 seconds. Time flew by, and he and Than Ham graduated from Trongson High. The results of the high school entrance exam were announced. Than Ham was sad. I tried hard, but my martial arts score isn't enough to get into the elite martial arts class. Tuthan asked, "Can we study together in high school?" You gently wiped her tears. "I don't know, but Principal Trongson High wants to come to my house." "You come with me to meet him, okay?" Than Ham sobbed. "The principal probably wants to invite you to the top martial arts class. What does that have to do with me?" Tuthan held her hand. "Don't worry. The only condition for me to stay at Trongson High is to sit at the same table with you." Principal Trongson High came to the house to discuss for hours and expressed his desire for Tuthan to continue studying at the school. The principal stood up, said goodbye to the student. "Tuthan, we have discussed everything that needs to be said. She said as long as you agree to study at Sunhai High School, any conditions you want, just say it directly." Tuthan pointed to the person beside him. "Thank you. I only have one wish. Than Ham can study in the same class with me." The principal looked down at the girl. "Student, is it Than Ham? When the new school year begins, you both come to school to register, okay?" Both said in unison, "Thank you, Principal." After choosing the school, Tuthan participated in the final martial arts competition of the middle school. As expected, he easily helped Trongson High win the championship and received a cash prize. Tuthan was determined to fulfill his wish. Only 20% left to unlock the pattern of a shadow demon. This prize was enough to buy meat to meet the schedule. He achieved an 80% pattern. Concerned about the uncontrollable situation when unlocking, he went to the mountainous area near Sunhai City. Without hesitation, he started the notification system. "You have devoured a large amount of the original life essence of the shadow demon." The pattern of the shadow demon reached 100%. You successfully unlocked the pattern, received the biological attribute of water element movement, enhancing the relationship with water, allowing for free movement, invisible and untouchable. Tuthan wondered if water element movement seemed a bit useless. He tried diving and realized his skin did not wrinkle after a long time in the water. The resistance decreased significantly, but is that all? A shadow demon is a low-level monster not worth merging. Jealous of wanting better attributes later, he either spent money to buy or hunted rare beasts like giant mutant rats. Less than a week before the new school year, Uyen Han and Than Ham's family planned a beach trip together to study water element movement. Tuthan suggested going to the beach, but Than Ham shyly said, "Tuthan, the seawater is very cold." He dived down like a fish and replied, "Just get used to it. Gradually it won't be cold anymore." The notification system. You are swimming health +1, overall muscle strength, +1 muscle coordination, +1 water element, +1 swimming skill, +1. You are diving health +1, overall muscle strength, +1 muscle coordination, +1 water element, +1 oxygen elimination ability, +1 water pressure resistance, +1 diving skill, +1 Than Ham called from the shore. Tuthan, don't swim alone. Teach me how to swim, he suddenly remembered. That's right, Ham doesn't know how to swim yet. He patiently guided her, although he thought her average athletic talent would be hard to learn quickly, but Than Ham surprised him as she moved easily underwater. Tuthan is swimming this simple, I already learned. Than Ham put her face down in the water and discovered, "Oh, can I dive?" "Sit up," she flaunted. "Little god, am I impressive?" People say it's hard to open your eyes underwater because of the pain, but I feel cool and comfortable. Little God pondered, is the water property of Thanham that good? Learning to swim this quickly is really unusual. You have a fleeting thought. Could she have an innate water characteristic? It's hard to believe. Could it be that in a past life Thanham had a special cultivation physique, like in immortal cultivation novels? You and Thanham continue diving and she surprises you even more by staying underwater for over 10 minutes, even though you just started. Suddenly Thanham hears a strange sound. Why is there a weird sound in the water? Both of them hurriedly surfaced. Little God anxiously asked, "What's going on? Why are you so tense?" Thanham shivered. "I just heard a very strange, frightening sound." You asked, "What sound?" She replied, "I don't understand. It sounded like a strange language." The female voice echoed in her ears, disappearing only when she surfaced. To help her calm down, Little God took her back to the hotel to search but found no clues. Unable to sleep, you continued to train. The system announced you did 1,000 sit-ups with weights, vitality, plus 2,000 abdominal strength, plus 2,000 sit-up proficiency, plus 1,000. Little God was amazed, not expecting such great progress. You reached a standard of 5 levels on par with a giant mutated rat. If you continue to tear it apart with your bare hands, it must be impossible. After the breakthrough, you went to a deserted beach to test running 100 meters in 3.64 seconds, jumping 6.98 meters high, lifting a 1,600-kilo car with one hand. Compared to the 4th level, the improvement is significant. With these results, Little God began his high school career. Little God attracted attention everywhere. The girls whispered, "Is that Little God our classmate? So handsome." Today I'm on duty with Little God. What good luck, because I have to do cleaning duty. You and Thanham arrived at class early. The surprising thing was that the cleaning duty activated a system mission. You thought to yourself, what effect could this communal animal characteristic have? It's really something to look forward to. The system announced the achievement of completing 1,000 cooperative missions reward communal animal biological attribute. Mission completed 1 out of 1,000. The new school year just began. The few deaths taking advantage of the supermarket unlocked the Shadow Demon Squid. You set a new target at the Great Beast Violent Bird meat tray stall. The price of one £9.98 caught your eye and you secretly rejoiced. That's it. The Great Beast Violent Bird is stronger than the Shadow Demon Squid, with vision 30 times that of an ordinary person. Superior hunting ability, accurately catching mutant rabbits as fast as a shadow. Good vision will increase combat efficiency. This figure is worth unlocking, you thought. 1 pound of meat increases the pattern progress by 1%, needing over 200,000 yuan to unlock completely. I must strive to compete in high school to earn money. You calculated that the martial arts bonus for the 3rd level is much higher than the 2nd level. Before the 2nd year, I must unlock the Great Beast Violent Bird pattern. The summer vacation ended, and Death stepped into high school life at Mount Shanghai. On the first day of the semester, the principal and students introduced themselves. "I am Vian Fong, the martial arts teacher and your homeroom teacher. I am Thai Nguyen Phi, teaching the mechanical remediation class. I am Lu Duk Nyun, teaching gene fusion. I am Trin Boy, teaching wilderness survival. Please introduce yourselves." The first person stood up. "Hello, I am So Vu. Hi, my specialty is in playing games and painting." The second person, "I am Trung Yi. I like anime cosplay and sports." The third person, "I am Manhwa Kwang. I like to play games in my free time." When it was Thanham's turn, she was nervous. Her face flushed. "Hello, I am Thanham. I like drawing and coloring. I hope everyone can guide me." Chao Tutan briefly introduced himself. "Hello, I am Tuthan. I hope everyone can guide me." The school bell rang. So Tum unexpectedly asked Thanham, "For the entrance exam, how many points did you get?" "I got 709 points. "What about you?" So Tom replied, "Impressive. You beat me by 10 points. I only got 698. She continued to ask, "For the physical fitness test, how many points did you get?" "I only got 95 points. that Thanham Chuat said 95 points is the top student of top students while you only got 79. Not enough to meet the excellent class standard she didn't score as well as So Tom. Curious, 94 or 93 points. Thanham lowered her face a little more. So Tom was even more interested. 92, 91, or 90. To relieve the tension, the Grim Reaper slammed the table and stood up. Can I add your WeChat? Yes. So Tom replied shyly. Okay, let me scan you. She thought to herself, the handsome guy is actively adding me on WeChat. What luck did I encounter today? Thanham sighed in relief. Thank goodness. Tuthan eased the tension. Otherwise, I wouldn't know how to answer. I would be so embarrassed. Tuthan casually added another friend on WeChat. Avu, let's add WeChat. Havu nodded. You scan me. He created a WeChat group of 4 people, unexpectedly completing the collaborative task. The system notified that you created a 4-person group meeting the collaborative task requirement. Total task completion 2 out of 1,000, he thought to himself. This task is too easy. Just need to use my hands. 4 people get to know each other. Havu comes from Namquan City. His ancestors opened a martial arts school for many generations. Young Master Havu is from a prominent martial arts family, having won 8th place at the Nam Quan Youth Martial Arts Tournament, considered a family honor. Lisotum comes from a family that owns a chain of clothing stores throughout the district, a typical young wealthy lady. Tuthan and Thanham also shared their backgrounds. Before long, the 4 of them became a close-knit group of friends comfortably chatting about any topic. As the conversation was about to end, Havu excitedly asked, "Who do you think is the strongest in the class?" You definitely won't guess. So Tom immediately replied, I guess it's Tuthan. He ranked first in our district's entrance exam. Havu was amazed. Wow, is Tuthan really that good? But the district champion is still far behind you. He revealed further, our class has 2 strong individuals. Principal Chi spent a lot of money to recruit them from Nam Quan. You sitting in the 3rd row on the left near the window are Vung Tukit, the district champion of the Nam Quan entrance exam who ran 100 melas in 7.98 seconds, and the big guy sitting at the back right, Luke Kung, has innate strength to lift 300 kilos with one hand. Thanham and Sotum were amazed. That's impressive. Tuthan thought to himself, 7.98 seconds, 300 kilos, I surpassed that back in elementary school. The bell rang, it was time to distribute books. On the table are 4 martial arts books. Must cultivate fusion jealousy and mechanical reconstruction for wild survival. The Grim Reaper has been self-taught since childhood, so he takes advantage of free time to find quiet places to practice. The God Mouse is still a threat. The police have only caught the heretics and have not found the Rat King. They need to break through to the 6th level to confront the mutant rats. He is determined. The wild survival class starts in the afternoon. Teacher Trin Boy piles up firewood and asks, who knows how to create fire by rubbing 2 sticks together? Havu laughs, who has time to learn this skill? But Vong Tukit and Luke Kwong use pointed wood to twist into the wood to create fire. Havu is stunned. What, you can create fire just by rubbing wood? The 2 explain, teacher, I learned in a summer extracurricular class in middle school. I self-taught online in elementary school. After that, the Grim Reaper guides the whole group to create fire by rubbing wood. The next martial arts class becomes a stage for Thu Kiet and Luke Kwong to showcase. Yes, teacher Vian Fong introduces, today I will teach you the breathing cultivation method. Especially the 2 interject, teacher, we already learned. Although it's ridiculous they actually did it. The Grim Reaper already knows this knowledge but remains humble. A month passes, teacher Tai Nguyen reports, it has been more than a month, it's time to check your achievements. He announces the prizes, first prize 888, second prize 666, third prize 333. The Grim Reaper is surprised to receive the 888 prize, enough to buy half a kilogram of meat. The grand prize makes the whole class excited. After more than an hour, the test ends, and teacher Lu Duc Nhan also organizes a similar prize test. Havu collapses on the table. It's over, so tired. His friends complain, the test was so hard, asking about the energy wave of the laser cannon, who can remember. Remember for what? The last question about the relationship between anti-airflow equipment and atmospheric pressure with detailed calculations makes the whole class grumble. Too many 10 points, how can we calculate? Hoping for a 90 point now getting 60 is already a joy. While everyone complains, the two top students Nam Quan boast, "The test is really hard. How did you manage to get 95 points, only got the last question wrong?" "Me too, I guess around 95 points. Havu angrily clenches his fists. "Showing off, huh? Can't I show off? I want to punch them." Teacher Duke Nan announces the test results for mechanical reconstruction. Quach DM 05 12 points. Thamtanham 61 points. Thanham whispers, "Little God, I passed, I won't disappoint you." The teacher continues. Havu 88 points. The whole class gasps. "Havu is really amazing." The teacher praises the good work. "The teacher has high expectations for you." Havu shyly replies, "Just lucky." "That's right, when my group receives the 333 third prize, I will treat everyone to a meal." The teacher reads on, Luke Kwong, 95 points. Vuong Tu Kiet, 95 points. Just one question missing to be perfect teacher. The two are not modest at all, they say to the teacher. "The last question needed a lot of calculations. If I had 10 more minutes, I could solve it." Teacher Duke Nan nods. "I believe you have that ability." Havu gets annoyed. "Damn it, acting all high and mighty." But the teacher announced the final name. The test was difficult, but someone got a perfect score. Death 100 points. The whole class was stunned. Luke Kwong and Thu Kiet were speechless. "Is it really 100 points? "Unbelievable," Ha Vu exclaimed. "Brother, you have defeated both top students Nam Quan, but you stole my third prize. You swear you won't raise the flag next time?" Than Ham and So Tam cheered. "Death is impressive." Sun Hai shone. "Death only cares about the teacher. When will the first prize of 888 be awarded?" The teacher replied, "Don't worry, I will put cash in a lucky envelope for the class group." He thought to himself, "Does this kid care about money that much?" 1 hour later, the results of the gene fusion test were announced. Teacher Nguyen Phi said, "Here are the results. Luke Kwong, 81 points. Thu Kiet, 83 points." With a test that most people failed, these scores are excellent. Both could not hide their smugness. Than Ham got 78 points, placing in the top 5. Death continued. Maximum score pocketing additional prize money. Luke Kwong and Thu Kiet raised their hands to complain. "With a test this difficult, how can one achieve the maximum score?" "Do you know the answers beforehand?" The teacher said sternly, "It's not possible. All the answers were thought up by him, not available online. No cheating." The two were left speechless. "What really?" Ha Vu and So Tam joked. "That's crazy. If you can't do it, just accept it. Why suspect others of cheating? That's embarrassing." The Nam Quan students. So Tam added, "Thu Kiet is indeed uncultured, always causing trouble." During the short lunch break in the afternoon, there was a wilderness survival test. Teacher Trinboy announced, "The rewards are the same as other subjects. First prize, 880 yuan. Second, 660 yuan. Third, 333 yuan. The test includes climbing mountains, climbing trees, swimming, and starting a fire by rubbing wood." Thu Kiet whispered to Luke Kwong, "This morning we lost to death in 2 theory tests this afternoon in survival and martial arts. We must regain our honor." Luke Kwong nodded. "No need to say I will defeat him, wash away the shame." The test began with tree climbing and mountain climbing scored by speed. Death won first prize. He outpaced Nam Quan Song Hung in mountain climbing, and the whole class was amazed. No way, Death is too showy. Nam Quan Song Hung was left far behind by Death, feeling disturbed. "I tried my best, why can't I even see his shadow?" Death won first place in tree climbing, but he was worried about Than Ham, who came in last because she hadn't finished climbing. "It's okay in swimming. Ham will regain her form," he thought to himself. The youths were in the phase of starting a fire to compete for the prize. Death continued to face off. Song Hung saw him quickly create smoke. Both were irritated. Why is Death so fast at everything? His hand speed is unnatural. In the class for starting fires, he wasn't this quick. Death successfully started the fire in 58 seconds. When it came to swimming, Than Ham unexpectedly surpassed Song Hung, shocking them. No way. Death understood quickly, but how did Than Ham explode like that? "I must be too tense, it's an illusion." After the survival test, Thu Kiet and Luke Kwong were silent for a long time. Thanks to that, the class had a quiet lunch. Teacher Vian Fong announced, "You have practiced martial arts for over a month. Today we will test the results. Come up to the ring to spar. The top 3 will receive rewards. Do your best." Hearing that song, Hung was filled with determination. So what? Martial arts is about physicality and skill. Without mastering martial arts, all other achievements are meaningless. Before the sparring, Master Vian Fong organized a physical test: 100-meter run, one-handed weight lifting high jump. Tooth Han ran 1-ton met in 7.78 seconds, lifted 330 kg, jumped 2.18 mm, leading in all 3 categories. To avoid being too ostentatious, he conserved his strength, resulting in a result only slightly better than Song Hung. But they collapsed. Running faster than us, finishing first in the district graduation, that's not scientific. He has stronger physical power, yet he doesn't look strong. They encouraged each other. Luke Kwong losing in physicality doesn't mean losing everything. Our martial arts skills are superior. There's still a chance. Arriving at Tuthan's arena, thinking that to fulfill the law of natural selection, he must take the lead, but due to his superior physicality, no one dared to challenge him, including Song Hung. Just a moment later, Master Vian Fong lost patience and specifically named Loi Vi to spar with Tuthan. Loi Vi faced Tuthan silent, choosing a quick win. Each opponent was quickly taken down by him, pulling the whole class onto Tuthan's arena, accelerating, defeating 10 people in a row. Song Hung turned pale. This guy is so strong. Why didn't he use all his strength in the physical test? Ha Vu stepped up to provoke Luke Kwong. "I've warmed up. I'm at my peak. Dare to fight." Luke Kwong swore, "In half a minute I will knock you down." He thought that if he didn't fight, Ha Vu would have to fight Tuthan. He wasn't sure about defeating Tuthan, but he was confident about taking down Ha Vu. Ha Vu rushed in with a stunning move, but Luke Kwong countered it. A kick from Ha Vu was grabbed by Luke Kwong at the ankle, spun like a top, then thrown far away. Ha Vu fell hard. Luke Kwong disdainfully said, "Ha Vu, in terms of stamina, you're the strongest in the class. I'm willing to call you number 1, but unfortunately my technique surpasses yours. Now, Tuthan on the mat, let's have a round." He thought it was a perfect opportunity to increase the pace. Otherwise, no one would dare to step up anymore. Luke Kwong was ready. "Come on, who's afraid of whom? Bah, eat my move." Luke Kwong charged in with incredible speed, but Tuthan dodged, avoiding his punch, and in a flash knocked Luke Kwong down to the mat. The classmates shouted, "Thu Kiet, your brother was taken down like that. Why don't you go up for revenge? The glorious academic prodigy Nam is counting on you." Thu Kiet jumped onto the mat. "What are you shouting for? I'm about to go up. Everyone be quiet." Facing Tuthan, Thu Kiet silently swore at this point he had to find a way to take him down. He recklessly threw a punch. "Come on, let's gamble." Tuthan blocked the blow, then countered with a lethal spinning kick. Thu Kiet flew far away, falling hard. He continued to take down other male students, each one dealt with in the blink of an eye. According to the natural selection rule, each opponent counts only once, no matter how many times they are defeated. This forced Tuthan to look for new opponents, but female students were hard to find. The girls looked at him with admiration. "So Vu-Hai volunteer student Tuthan, I want to challenge you." She jumped into the ring and rushed forward, but the death god lightly dodged. Vu-Hai fell down, secretly regretting that she almost got to hug him. The other female students also eagerly challenged the death god, held back only lightly hitting to quickly complete the task. Nevertheless, the progress was still far off. Teacher Vian Fong suddenly announced that everyone performed well and should prepare. In a month. Our class would challenge the strongest class in the second year. The goal of high school is to defeat them. The death god was secretly pleased, worried there wouldn't be a match to increase progress. Natural selection now had the opportunity come like a gift of coal in the snow. After class, Luke Kung stepped over. "I thought Trung Sun Hai had no rivals. It seems I underestimated you. From now on, you are my opponent for the next 3 years of high school." The death god thought, according to the teacher's arrangement, completing natural selection in 1 year was not impossible. Doing tasks while getting rewards, that's really sweet. He planned to earn more than 3,000 today, enough to buy quality game meat. Thu Kiet chimed in, "The death god lost, but losing now doesn't mean losing forever. Before graduation, I will wash away the humiliation for both of us." Looking at him full of resentment, not even paying attention, he mocked, "We are too arrogant." Early in the morning, after night fell back in the room, the death god typed, thinking that even if he earned rewards, it was still far from enough to buy game meat. Opening the game to earn more, he opened his novel account and started writing. The next morning, a message from the editor came. "Hello, I am your novel platform editor. Very good. Please sign a long-term publishing contract." After signing, a piece of news caught his attention. 2 hours ago, a gigantic mutated rat 5 meter long attacked a cold storage facility on the outskirts, biting 2 robotic people in half. This person activated self-destruct backup energy, destroying the rat. The next day, the death god pondered how many more mutated rats were hiding in Sonhai. Where are they hiding that no one has discovered? The next day in the gym, Trong Sonhai the death god's class rubbed against the second-year class. Teacher Nguyen warned, "The opponents are not as strong as us individually, but overall they excel. They will use numbers to defend, prolonging the match and then resorting to rotation, exhausting us. You must win quickly." 4 people replied in unison, "We understand, sir." The death god jumped into the ring. "Teacher, I will take the first battle." "Teacher, the opponent is a female student." Worried, "Teacher, she is the strongest opponent." The second-year teacher opposed Teacher Fong, stating that the rule was that weaker students should go first. "Why did you send the best student out first, violating the rules?" "Yes, Teacher Vian Fong called the death god down to let a weaker student go first." He stepped down dejectedly. "Yes, sir, Teacher Chidin Vundong, I will go up." She looked confused. "Teacher, I am not ready." Thanha suggested to Teacher Thai, "I am the weakest, let me go first." Opposite, the female opponent panicked. What to do now? So tense. So Tum and Havu cheered. Ham, go for it, take her down." The more Thanha worried, the more she encouraged herself, the more panicked she became. The opponent attacked first, launching a flurry of punches. Thanha raised her hands to cover her head, persisting in defense, thinking that she wouldn't win, but would hold on and wear her out. 3 minutes later, the opponent was starting to get tired. She really persisted. "At this rate, I'm going to be exhausted. We have to fight quickly and win." The opponent delivered a knockout punch to Thanha, knocking her down. She is embarrassed and runs back to the team. Teacher Vian Fong encourages her. "You did well. Using defense to wear down energy, very smart." Death God pats her head. "Great job. You were more persistent than 3 minutes ago. The senior has practiced for a whole year. That's a big improvement." The second female student from the second grade steps onto the mat and attacks immediately. She's weak now. Just take her down." She kicks, but the senior dodges easily, punches straight to the face, and pins the opponent down. The senior is arrogant, only attacking without defending. Does she look down on our class? "I may not have the talent like you, but I trained for over a year. Keep practicing and then fight." The female student pleads, "It hurts. Let me go. I lost." So Tum steps onto the mat and declares, Hum, let me take revenge. Watch me take down this senior." "Ma."